What's going on, GST fam? So in today's YouTube video, we are going to be covering why confidence matters. A lot of footballers struggle with this issue, whether it be in training sessions, whether it be during game day. Confidence is a big attribute to have. And if you don't have it, it's going to be super noticeable for the people watching on the outside. And at the same time, it's going to hold you back from reaching that top potential that you always dream about. So first of all, we're going to go into this short mini presentation. Hopefully it answers all your questions as to why it matters, how I can fix the problem, how I can identify the problem, and then take actionable steps in order to continue developing that confidence over time. So here in my first slide, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. You can see clearly why confidence matters. We're going to be covering the root problem, what the root problem is. Let me just fix that real quick. Types of confidence blocks, how to fix the problem, shifting your perspective, that's a huge one. And then of course at the end, making a plan. First slide, why does confidence matter? Confidence, basically in football, is belief in your ability to perform consistently under pressure. And here I have two very important statements. Confidence isn't just talent, it's preparation. And number two, confidence isn't just about scoring goals, it's about being reliable in your role and earning trust. So if you look at the top players in the game today, the men's game, the women's game, whichever one, what makes them so good? Have you ever asked yourself what makes them so good? When you ask yourself and when you actually think about it, there's probably one or two key words that come to mind. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo. One of his strengths is his mentality. You can just tell by the way he carries himself as a person on the field. What about Leo Messi? The way he carries himself on the field. You just know that he's super calm, cool, collected. Anytime he steps out onto the pitch, something's going to happen. You just believe that something is going to happen because he just has this much confidence in himself. So why is that important? Because you need to look at yourself and ask yourself what it is that you have that makes you you. Every single person is different. Every single footballer is different. You have different characteristics from the next person. What that person has does not matter. You only need to worry about yourself. What are you good at? Are you fast and agile? Are you strong mentally? Do you understand the game really well? Are you tactically aware of a lot of situations going on? Are you smart in those moments? Are you technically gifted? Do you have a super clean touch? Or maybe you're just physically gifted. Whatever the case may be, you have to identify what it is that you have that makes you that unique footballer. And that's what's going to make you, at the end of the day, confident. So let's move on to that next slide. So number one, what does this mean? You as a player, you want to identify and pinpoint the specific cause of your confidence struggles. Without identifying the problem, solutions will be unfocused and ineffective. What does that mean? Basically, why are you not confident? Ask yourself, why do you have doubts in these moments? It could be maybe because you haven't practiced enough. It could be maybe because somebody has told you certain things that you truly believe in and you need to break that belief. Or it may be because you just feel like you haven't prepared enough. But ask yourself that specific question. Once you identify what it is that is causing you to struggle, then we can start focusing on solutions. So it moves me on to the next one. How? How can I fix it? Or how can I identify it? Reflect on recent games or training sessions. What situations make you hesitate or underperform? Really think about certain training sessions and certain games that you just hesitate to take a player on, or you hesitate to turn, or you hesitate to go in for a header. Whatever position you are specific to those actions, why do you hesitate? Ask yourself why you hesitate. Another thing that you can do to identify the root problem is ask feedback from coaches and teammates. Your coach sees you training every day. Your coach sees how you move on and off the ball. They will definitely help you and give you feedback as to why you're not so good at this or why you're not so good at that. And then after getting that information, then you can start building on it. So for example, if we look at wingers, maybe in a recent situation, I was afraid as a winger to take this player on. Why? Oh, because he's faster than me or she's stronger than me. Okay, boom, I identified the problem, which moves us on to number 2. We have to fix it. We address the root cause of the problem with deliberate action. Confidence goes from fixing the weakness, improves both the skills and self-belief. So what does that mean? Address the root cause of the problem with deliberate action. Meaning, once I know what the problem is, I need to do something about it. So if I'm scared to take this player on 1v1, it's because maybe I haven't done enough 1v1 skill moves to be able to have the confidence to beat this player. So now I know that, okay, maybe during the training week, I will work more on my 1v1 skill moves. I break the issue into manageable steps. I will start training 10, 20 minutes after practice, specifically on this action, this 1v1 action. If I have a teammate to help me, then boom, we do that over and over and over. And then every time I am doing those actions, I am telling myself, come on, Miguel, you can do it. Oh, this works. Maybe we try this. Or this doesn't work. Let's try this. This scissor works, but this step over doesn't work. Let's try something. So all these conversations in your head, you're at the same time talking to yourself, aka coaching yourself, but you're also trying to figure out different answers. And then number 3, you have to act on it. So apply the solution consistently in real game scenarios. So confidence is built through repeated success and experience, because the more times that you do it, the better you're gonna feel doing it when that exact moment arises again. So how do I track my progress? How do I set clear, actionable goals? Maybe throughout the week, Monday through Friday, I'm training 20 minutes extra after practice, or I'm doing things on my own when I have some free time. Saturday or Sunday, match day, I write down before I go to match day, I tell myself I'm going to attempt to take this player on 3 times, 2 times, 5 times, 2 times in the first half, 2 times in the second half. Something very clear and specific. And you have to go into that match and just do it. It's that simple. You just do it. You just try your best to do those 2 times of taking that player on, and it does not matter if you're successful or not, because you're still taking that first step of making those actions of actually taking that player on. So after all of that, I'm identifying the root problem. How do I do that? I have to be super self-aware, meaning you reflect on your game. What are you good at and what areas can you improve on? So every time I work with players, I always ask them, what are 3 things that you are really good at that make you you? And what are 3 things that you feel you need to improve on? Not what your coach has said, not what your parents have said, not what your teammates have said. What do you think it is? Really think and be specific as possible. And then in training sessions, what is your main struggle? Is it the technical aspect, the tactical aspect? Is it your physical preparation, mental focus? So really answering those questions. And then during match day, what moments do you doubt yourself? So is it when you get on the ball? Is it when you're in a certain specific type of situation? Why do you doubt yourself in those moments? And how do you think you can fix it? And I capitalized the you right here because I want you to think about the answer first. Because I can be like, on my videos that I always post online, I can show you exactly how to do it, but on the field, it's a different perspective. And the reason why I show you how to do it is because I personally have been in plenty of those actual game-like scenarios, and I'm just sharing a different perspective. But when you are on the field, it's different. You're thinking different. There's different things going on. Your parents are over there. The fans are over there. Your teammates are screaming for the ball. The opponent is also yelling to shift over. Your coach is yelling instructions. There's so many things going on. But I need to be able to focus on what's in front of me, what's going on right now. So once you answer all those questions, then we can move on to the next thing, okay? Which is actually taking clear, actionable steps. So here are some different types of confidence blocks. Maybe fear of making mistakes, negative self-talk, and comparing yourself to others. If you are guilty of any of these 3, that will continuously hold you back. I will tell you, fear of making mistakes, don't worry about mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Every single player that plays the game makes mistakes. From the best players in the world to players at the lowest level, recreational level, competitive level, does not matter. Everybody makes mistakes. What separates those players is their ability to bounce back from the mistake as quick as possible. If you lose possession of the ball, that split second where you're like, shoot, I lost possession, are you going to throw your hands up, put your head down, or are you going to try and react to try to win the ball back? If you react to try and win the ball back, you might be successful, you might not. But you know what that communicates to people watching? That mistake doesn't matter. So just remember this. No one action is connected to the next action. Just because you make a bad pass here does not mean that the next time you receive the ball, you're going to make another bad pass. They're not connected. So let go of your mistakes and just look to play. My next one, negative self-talk. The conversations that you have in your head will affect the decisions that you make. You're always going to have that voice that's telling you, Miguel, keep going, keep pushing, you got this. And then the other voice in your head that's going to tell you, Miguel, you're wasting your energy and your time. Just stop doing it. Don't do it anymore. But here's the secret. You are the person that decides who you want to listen to most and which voice you want to amplify the most. And I know that sometimes it's hard to listen to the positive voice because this negative voice is very, very loud. However, if you can slowly but surely start shutting down the negative voice and amplifying the positive voice, you're going to start seeing different results in the way that you think, and it's going to help you lead. It's going to help lead to better decisions. And then lastly, comparing yourself to others. This is probably one of the worst things you can do, and I realized this early on as a young player, is I would always look at other players and be like, oh, they're there and I'm here. It's going to be so tough to make it to that level. It's going to be so tough to make it to where they are. And then I started to realize as I got older, as I matured, that you can't compare yourself to others. Why? Because they grew up differently. They have different beliefs. They are in a different environment than you. They are experiencing different experiences from you. They have different characteristics from you. Everything is different. So since everything is different, you can't compare. It's like comparing apples and oranges. You can't. You shouldn't. So all you have to worry about is comparing yourself from last week to this week. Have I improved? Have I gotten better? Have I fixed the little mistakes that I need to fix? If not, how can I adjust? And every single week, you start to adjust, start to see what works, and then slowly but surely, you're going to see results. So how do we fix the problem? So if I want to grow technically, I need to stay consistent on improving different areas of your game. Meaning, I want to work on my first touch. I want to work on my 2 touches, 3 touches, dribbling. I literally train that every single day. I go to the wall, pass against the wall. I go to the field and just dribble in straight lines, dribble zigzag, work on my 1v1s, work on shooting, work on passing. Whatever it is at that area that you need to work on, you work on it. And at the same time, you're developing your strengths over and over and over. Mental training. So a lot of times players have not the strongest mentality. And the way that you fix that is you use self-talk and mindfulness to prepare off the pitch. So look at how you deal with certain situations off the pitch in your everyday life, because that will translate on the pitch. If you're stressed and if you're always annoyed and frustrated with your everyday schedule, change something to fix that so that you're not frustrated and annoyed and mad at your current schedule, because that translates to the game. Because one mistake, you're upset, you're mad, boom, it's over. I don't want to do this no more. No, do not let those mistakes beat you down and keep you there. If that happens, then you're just going to go back home and be like, oh, I had the worst game of my life. I'm never going to be able to fix this. And then it's going to stay like that and you're never going to see any change. So use self-talk. Going back to my example of the 2 voices in your head, slowly but surely start amplifying the positive voice. Coach yourself in the way that you want to be. So this is a little thing that I used to do, is I would think about what the ideal footballer looks like of me, how he acts, how he runs, how he talks, how he thinks. And I would pretend that that footballer from the future is talking to my current self. So there has to be an image of your head in your head of you being this ultimate baller, footballer that is at this current level, that's moving like this, acting like this, talking like this, playing like this. And what would that person say to your present self? And you got to listen to that. Listen to what that person would say, and then take that into your habits off the pitch and preparation onto the pitch. And then lastly is feedback. Ask your coach, teammates to share their thoughts about your game. It's always good to have constructive criticism. Do not get defensive in these moments. You are trying to learn and you're trying to grow. So maybe your teammates are going to joke with you and say certain things, but that's just how they view you. You shouldn't take it too personal. If they view you that way, it's because you've done something that shows them that. If your coach sees this, then okay, maybe I need to improve in this area. Because you have to remember, at the end of the day, the game is a game of opinions. Some coaches might think that you're really good at this, and some coaches might think you're really good at that. But ultimately, you need to be super self-aware to understand what you are really good at. What do you bring to the table? Shifting your perspective. I think this is one of the most important parts of having confidence, is understanding that failure equals growth. And I know it sounds weird. You're probably looking at this video and you're like, what do you mean failure equals growth? Every time that you fail, it's just getting you closer to your answer. Meaning, every time that I stumble across something and it didn't really work out the way I wanted to, I'm learning something new. So I heard a saying once that said that every no is an answer closer to a yes. Something along those lines. So be okay with failing. That's how you learn. But if you keep failing over the same thing, then that's when you have to, again, readjust, take a step back, understand what is going on to fix it. And sometimes that might take months, it might take years, it might take weeks, it might take days, depending on how big that problem is. And then the next thing is focus on effort over outcomes. So understand that if you put in work for one whole week and you think, oh, you know, I got this, I'm gonna go kill it this weekend, and then the weekend comes, match day, and you don't kill it like you thought you would, it's okay, because you've only been putting in work for 1 week. When in doubt, zoom out. So 1 week of work is not equivalent to that ideal self. That ideal self has probably been putting in 3 months of work, 6 months of work. So you can't expect yourself to all of a sudden make that jump. Literally just put your head down and work. That's the best advice I could give you. And then staying consistent. So understand that all your energy right now is going to go into developing this ideal player with confidence, and it's going to take time. Depending on how you adjust and how you deal with certain things, it's going to take time. Ooh, yeah. And then, of course, how you do this is you make a plan. This is the very last step. You want to make a plan as to building good habits and having an actionable plan. Meaning, if I'm lacking in the physical department, I'm making a plan to develop speed, agility, strength. I'm in the gym, I'm working out, I'm getting more mobile like this player right here. I'm doing what I can to be a stronger player physically. If, let's say, my habits off the pitch, meaning my diet, my sleep, my recovery is not good, then I start making a plan, a good nutrition guide. I start maybe trying to go to bed by 10 p.m., between 10 and 11 p.m., 8 and 9 p.m., whatever the case is. I try to start getting up earlier, right? I'm not going to tell you you have to do it every day because it's not reality. You can't just cold turkey things sometimes. If you're capable of doing that, by all means do it. But if you try to do everything at once and you start not liking it, most likely you're going to end up not wanting to do it. So slowly but surely, maybe I want to start eating healthy, and going cold turkey and eating healthy like this every single day, you're not going to like it. So start with maybe 3 times a week, and then we up it up to 4 times a week, and then 5 times a week, and then every single meal. And then maybe one meal I can cheat day. If it's maybe tactically or technically that I need to work on, then boom, I start analyzing matches. I start watching more matches. I start speaking to coaches. I start speaking to other experts. I start watching videos online. There's so much information online. Technically, I start hitting the field and doing very specific things. Right foot, left foot, and then repetition, repetition, repetition. But that's what it is, guys. You have to have structure in your life on and off the pitch in order to see those results. If you have no structure, you're going to be all over the place. So you have to have structure in every area: the physical department, the mental department, the tactical department, and the technical department of your game. And then you just repeat, rinse and repeat. And then I will leave you with this. Confidence is built through self-awareness, deliberate action, and consistency. The more that you prepare, the more confident that you will be. You will not be confident from one day to the next. It's a process. Sometimes it takes longer than others. Sometimes it may take a couple months, 6 months, a year, but you have to be consistent. You have to just set a goal and just do it. And how do you do that? Again, just to recap everything, it's built through self-awareness. Really ask yourself, why am I struggling? What moments during a match or during training sessions do I hesitate? Do I doubt myself? Why do I feel this pressure? Is it because maybe I lack in my first touch? I'm scared to go into a 50-50. I don't know what to do when I get the ball. Ask yourself those questions and then find the answer. Deliberate action. Once you identify the root problem, you want to take actionable steps to fix it. So I go back to my example at the beginning. If I feel unconfident to take on players 1v1, then at practice, I'm going to stay and do an extra 20, 30 minutes of 1v1, 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 and just trying different things. And then the last word is consistency. I try different things every single day, every single week, every single month. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks have passed, and now I start to see results. But remember, guys, it takes time, and you're not going to get it from one day to the next. Just put your head down and work. And as always, if you have to go back to this video and watch it, then you watch it. But this is literally the secret, if you want to call it the secret. All the conversations that happen in your head is going to either make you or break you. And you got to listen to the voice that is pushing you to keep going, and you just keep going. That is why confidence matters. I hope this YouTube video helped a little bit with understanding how you can start building confidence today and how you can start taking those next steps to improve your game moving forward. Like always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much.